I had done one of my jazzy videos with all the PowerPoint slides and everything and all the cool pictures for Cain and Abel, but in addition to the whole school being closed down, now, apparently, the software allowing me to upload that doesn't work. So I'm going to have to give you one of these embarrassing versions with me walking around. Sorry. So, Cain and Abel. Now, Adam and Eve have 2 kids, Cain and Abel, and one kills the other. Oh, good. That's just wonderful. The world is going so well. When they people first started buying cars, there were like 2 cars in Oklahoma or something like that, 2 Model Ts, and they crashed into one another. That's sort of like humans are a nightmare. Okay, how does this happen? So we turn to Genesis 4. And what happens is, so Abel becomes a shepherd, and Cain becomes a farmer, and then they both bring their offerings to God, and God likes Abel's, because he likes meat, apparently, and he doesn't like Cain's, because Cain brings him vegetables. And Cain gets really pissed off about this. Now, here's the question, and God says to Cain, why art thou wroth? Why is thy countenance fallen? If thou dost well, shalt thou not be accepted? So in other words, why didn't you bring me a sheep? Everybody knows when you're sacrificing something, you do it with animals, you don't do it with vegetables. But it seems pretty clear, because Cain clearly is angry and resentful. He didn't know that God wanted animals. Like maybe God told him and he forgot. We don't know that because it doesn't show us God telling him. So there's a lot of confusion here. It's interesting to me if the message, so the standard message, like if you read the footnote or if you go to church, the standard message is Cain knew he was supposed to do this and he did the wrong thing. But if that was true, why not put it in here? Why not include that? For us as a reader, we read this and we feel like, huh? What's going on? Why didn't Cain know this? And notice how God talks. He says, why are you angry? Why are you wroth? If you do well, you'll be excited. Didn't you know this? Cain, apparently, God thinks Cain should have known. Cain didn't know. Now, God has this tendency to always be asking questions of people. Remember in the temptation, God is like, how did you know you were naked? What did you do? He says to Eve, what hast thou done? And then when Cain gets pissed off and kills Abel, he says, again, what hast thou done? Like God is constantly like, what? Didn't you know this? Why did you do that? He seems very confused. There seems to be a failure to communicate between God and human beings. Things seem to the message always doesn't get delivered quite right. And what's even more striking is Cain kills Abel, his brother. And again, God asks the questions, where is Abel thy brother? What hast thou done? And then he curses Cain. So we're familiar with this, right? Somebody sins, they get cursed. And he cursed Adam by saying, you're not going to be able to farm anymore. He curses Cain by saying, he curses Adam by saying farming is going to be hard. He curses Cain by saying, you're not going to farm at all. So it's sort of like an intensification of the Adam curse. And you're going to have to become a vagabond and wander the land. And this is what kills me. So listen to this. So Cain then says, no, I don't want that. I don't want that curse. My punishment is greater than I can bear. And God, instead of saying, hello, I'm God. Secondly, you just killed your brother. And the only thing I said is you have to wander around a lot and be homeless. That's not such a bad punishment. And besides, I'm God, and you just killed your brother. Instead of saying that, he says, oh, okay, yeah, okay. Let's come up with something else then. Cain says, look, you drove me out. If anybody finds me, they're going to kill me. Odd complaint, given as there aren't any other people alive right now, but okay. And God says, okay, all right, how about this? You still have to wander around, but if anybody kills you, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. Now I'm wondering, what does that mean? Like, so if somebody kills Cain, that person gets killed 7 times. How can you have 7-fold vengeance for murder? I don't know. Anyway, God seems to be sort of making it up as he goes along. But I still can't believe that God listens to Cain. Like, first of all, why didn't Eve and Adam do this, right? Eve could have said, all right, how about menstrual cramps every other month and guaranteed 1 hour of labor? Like, wouldn't that have been great? That would really have solved a lot of problems. Or why didn't Adam say, all right, we have to die, but like, let's say 8,000 years. Apparently, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's just God. He's a pushover. He'll just listen to what you have to say. God's willingness to negotiate seems to come out of Cain's explanation that God doesn't understand. And God seems to sort of get that he doesn't understand. There's a general sense of confusion about putting together laws and rules and how to behave. He's significantly angrier at Adam and Eve, who ate an apple, than he is at Cain, who killed his brother. Adam and Eve, he starts angrily going on about how you're going to go down into the ground. With Cain, he's like, did you kill your brother? Oh, man. We're doing this again. Very strange. And just as a further example of this insanity, this kind of confusion, we have this little itty-bitty story. And this is the first of what I would call the idiot in-law tales. There are always these little, 5 to 10 verse stories about the relatives of the main characters who are like pornographic idiots. It's just, you'll see as we go along. But anyway, this is the story of Lamech. It's not actually one of the funner ones, but it's the first. And Lamech is like Cain's, I don't know, great-grandson or something. So Lamech kills some guy. We don't know why. And he says to his wives, I have slain a man to my wounding and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. So he says to his wives, I killed this guy, but don't worry. Because God, he's not a problem. He doesn't do anything when you kill people. And besides, like, what happens is when you kill people, God actually takes vengeance against anyone killing you. It's a great deal. This is the message he got from his grandfather. Not only that, but since he told Cain that anyone who kills him gets avenged 7-fold, and I'm his great-grandson, that means I get avenged 77-fold. So apparently, if you kill Lamech, 77 of you die. Clearly, Lamech is an idiot. He didn't get the point of Cain's curse, which is that you shouldn't kill people. But this tendency of humans to be idiots is pretty much what we're going to see throughout the Bible. Their tendency for them to sin like crazy, pretty much what we're going to see. And the terrible difficulty God has in explaining the rules and in understanding enough to figure out how to teach these rules to people. Just goes on and on. Happy to say, Adam and Eve have another son. They name their son Seth, and Seth is the source. The truth is, God should have just killed Cain. Like, Cain's descendants turn out to be all sleazeball nightmares like him. He goes out and he builds a city, and that's the first city, and all kind of bad stuff comes out of cities. God can't stand it. Anyway, it's strange, but that's the deal. And the question in my mind is, why God puts up with this stuff? Like, the human experiment is not going well. Why not just write it off? You had Adam and Eve eating the apple. You had Cain, like, killing Abel. It's not working.